Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and we are so excited because Erin Cohen is in the house. You are one of the coolest, toughest actors on the scene. I'm so excited for your latest film.
211 with Nick Cage.
I
have a great part in this film. I started cracking this acting thing like in 2011, and it's a grind. But to be able to go toe to toe with an Oscar winner, two-time Oscar winner, for about 6 minutes and then get off script and it goes into Improvville, you got to bring the chops.
Well, you got
to bring the chops.
Counter-terrorist experts to do that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely, yeah.
I mean, tell us a little bit about what your experience was like. I mean, you brought the chops, but what was it like for you?
So, acting is a grind, as everybody knows. There's a zillion of them here in LA. I started doing it by accident. I wrote a book, a memoir. I served in Israel's counter-terror unit. I used to go undercover. That was my, dressed up as an Arab and do some very intensive, unconventional warfare style operations, which is essentially special operations. And I wrote a book, and Steven Soderbergh called me after he read my book and said, hey, I'm doing a film with Gina Carano and Channing Tatum called Haywire, and you're going to tech advise on it, you're going to be in it, and I need someone who's completely unconventional. I want like Israeli Mossad style expertise in this film. So that was my first movie. And then he dropped me in the scene with Channing Tatum and Fassbender and all these actors. And I was like, this is kind of fun. Like forget this army stuff.
Yeah, less risk involved.
Let's go do Hollywood stuff, you know what I mean? So I did this movie, and then it just kind of, and then after Haywire, which was, we were in Ireland, we were in Barcelona, it was amazing. I disappeared into every acting school I could sink my teeth into because it's a craft. You have to learn how to go moment to moment. You have to learn about psychology and behavior and all this stuff that I had no clue about, and buried myself in acting classes, and then hunted down an agent, terrorist style.
Yeah, you are a nationally recognized counter-terrorist
I do a lot,
expert.
yeah, everyone, yeah, it's like love-hate. I do a lot of Fox News. I stay out of politics. I never go near the stuff. But I've done a lot of Fox News, but I'll bounce into CNN, I'll bounce into MSNBC as their national security analyst talking about terrorism and school shootings. And did you guys see the new Sacha Baron Cohen thing that just came out? Where he plays an anti-terror expert? That guy's based on me.
Really?
He just spoofed me, which is like the highest form of flattery.
So tell us about the film. Tell us.
So 211 is based on the longest and bloodiest shootout in modern bank heist history. Do you remember the North Hollywood shootout in '97? Wow. So it's based on that, loosely based on that, and so Cage plays a retiring patrol sergeant, and he's got a ride along with him, and they pull up at this mall. The whole thing turns into a shootout. His ride along goes missing, and basically the film is negotiating this crazy bank heist. And so I show up as Cage's tactical commander, this lieutenant, and we've got a couple great scenes together, and he comes after me, and the director said, hey, whatever happens, man, just don't let Cage bulldoze you in this scene. Like, do not let him do it. And I was like, no problem.
Yeah, I'm like, have you met?
No,
So that's not.
But he's very methody, and when he comes down, he's like, he's in state, and he's ready to go. So, you know, it's all just acting, and it's just so much afterwards. He comes up to me and goes, hey, man, you really brought it.
So I have a question for you. So at Good Morning LaLa, we talk a lot about, daily routines, spiritual practices, and you were obviously a soldier, and you grew up in a Jewish family. So I'm imagining there was some discipline in your life. Tell us about how.
No, we're like my family. Let me preface. My family, we're like renegade Jews. My parents were artists, moved out. My mother was a writer. My stepfather was a writer. But I was never and I grew up in LA before moving to Israel to do the army, but I never was in and around Hollywood. When I came back from Israel, I started off as a bodyguard. And then after 9/11 hit, I got called by a SWAT team in the Midwest somewhere, and they said, hey, can you teach us this Israeli thing for terrorism just so we know how to respond?
Wow.
And then I've trained over 3,000 cops and soldiers leading up to this acting thing till about 2011, 12. But as far as going back to the routine, here's what it is. It's about being grateful. If you've been in war, if you've been in a forward operating area, if you've been at the tip of the spear, if you've risked your life, if you've been part of a brotherhood, it's about, if you've done something where you've been a part of something that's so much bigger than you, it's about being selfless. So to get to do a film with Nick Cage, I'm just grateful. And that's what it's about. Just wake up and be grateful. Wake up and be happy that everybody gets to sit here on this couch and do this amazing thing here. We're communicating and doing television, like, I'm just grateful. And that's really what it comes down to. And I think people lose their way and they forget what's important, like health. You know what I mean? Take advantage of all this great stuff that we have here. And I think that I get the craze of trying to, like, you know, stay on track with how you stay focused, but I just think I've seen enough of the crappy side to just be happy to be able to do this stuff. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Total sense.
I'm not trying to make
Totally
anyone cry here.
No.
Totally in alignment. So awesome.
Aaron, what's your next mission?
So I'm going to Kentucky to go do a film, Guy Pearce's new movie. Director loved me.
Wait,
they're
what?
they're doing this crazy biker movie.
Aaron
and
loves
this-
Guy Pearce.
Yes, like he's incredible, and so I ended up reading for this part. I put myself on camera, and I've got about 14, 15 pages in this new film that shoots in Kentucky in the middle of nowhere. Hopefully there's a hotel. If not, I guess I'm sleeping in the woods.
Probably done it before. I got a feeling.
Yeah, and yeah. So just I got another film coming up right now, and I still pick at the training world a little bit. So I was just down at Camp Pendleton meeting with the Marines about a potential deal. So I kind of bounce from like sand to set. Sand to set.
If you weren't in an actual movie, I'd be like, this guy's full of crap. Like,
Everybody thinks
I
I'm
mean,
full,
your stories are incredible.
Thank
but,
you,
I mean,
thank
they're
you.
real. So like,
Thank you.
it's so cool.
What's the greatest lesson you learned from the counterterrorism work that you've been able to apply to acting?
Well, so it's a great question. So I was in this undercover unit, and it's about being able to blend in, and it's about survival. Like, you can get killed. So I would dress as an Arab. I dress as a woman, and the reason why is because it throws off the enemy. They'll have no idea that you're a 90-year-old man walking in the street with a cane. So learning how to improvise and learning how to use your natural abilities for survival has been the easiest thing. And then life experience. There's all these young actors. Like, I was in these classes, there's like 20-year-olds, and they're like trying to find it. And I'm like, you guys just aren't old enough. You need to live more life. You need to go through some more crap in order to be able to like bring stuff when you're in there. It's the same thing with you guys. Like, when you're sitting on a set and you're in front of a camera and you're communicating, it's about like being able to pull stuff and sensing stuff and things that you felt. And so definitely being in harm's way, being undercover, there's no question, it's the greatest hustle ever. So being able to, like, I'm comfortable putting on makeup, comfortable, the toughest thing was the lines, memorizing lines and being able to, like, and you guys have to work quick in TV, so you've got tons and tons of stuff in front of you.
But I would imagine you're also an expert in reading a situation, right? And reading other
Situational
people.
awareness, yes. Being able to, well, not as good as women, so here's an interesting thing. In Israel, all of our undercover agents at LaLa, which is our national airline, are all females because intuitively they're smarter and more gifted at being able to detect lies. And so
You heard it from the
and so as far as like intuition and as far as reading situations, men will never come as close to women because when women walk into a room, they have to look at everything. It's for your safety. It's, you know what I mean? Like, who's going to hurt me? Like, and you're walking to the car and you're and all that stuff. So that's something that I've had to develop intuitively, but the situational awareness definitely brings some more skills to the set. There's no question.
That's so interesting.
I love it. Well, where can people find all the movies, all the good stuff?
So 211's on demand. It's hashtag, anyone should be able to find it on demand. And then this next one, no clue when it's coming out, but I believe it's called Disturbing the Peace. And my book is called Brotherhood of Warriors. It's a memoir of my time in Israel's top unit.
Such an
Bestseller.
interesting
It's a
life,
bestseller.
man.
It's in 8 languages now. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
when you see me at the Earth Cafe, you're like, stop. Stop, dude. Just drink your green tea, boba. You're full of full crap. Anyways.
It would be so weird to be in La La Land after, that type of situation and then just this bizarre culture here.
I stay away from the nonsense in LA. I'm a hermit. I lock myself in because, LA's a grind. Everybody here's hustling. Everybody here's trying to make it. But there's so much fringe hanging out at parties and doing, and I'm like, there's you guys who are like there interviewing, and then there's everybody else tagging on and like trying to climb in LA. And everybody's trying to get it here in LA, which I love, but at the same time, it's overwhelming because it's just hustle central.
It's exhausting.
And it's exhausting, and you gotta I don't go out. I lock myself in, and I work on stuff, and I go to the gym and I work out, and I try to eat clean, and I You know, my girlfriend's like at a yoga thing and dragging me and like, let's do some downward dog. And I'm like, fine. But then I walk out and like everything's like, I'm like kind of stoned from Zenned out. And it's great. But you just kind of like, it's all about like just staying out of the scene unless you have to be in the scene. Like I've always been like, I'm not going to an event unless I'm part of it. Yeah. Unless my publicist is dragging me in there and saying you have to go because you're creating awareness, which is different. But for the most part, it's like you just want to disappear and just focus on your projects and write stuff and develop stuff. And we have all these like tools now. There's the internet, like just create and.
You kind of described my whole life, but I feel like I should hide now with you because I feel I'll be a lot safer. I'm gonna hide him.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Be sure to find 211 on Cohen. Thank you, Erin.
Love this whole thing. It's so much fun. I love the music coming in too. It was getting into it. It was amazing.
And Julie Mintz is a goddess, right?
She's oh my God, like she was incredible.
Yeah. She's a star.
And yeah, good for her. Well, she's gonna explode. I can already tell.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.